here is because it feels like the people who matter in this country finally care about what we have to say. As an immigrant from Brazil, I feel empowered knowing that the little girl struggling to get by at 14 and 15 years old finally has a voice. For the first time, I feel like I matter as an American.
Devin.
It was the summer of high school. I was working 3 jobs to try to support my mom and my sister.
Don Lemon turned his gifts off in order to do this.
That I could make $300 to give another guy a massage. It went from a dream job to the worst nightmare. Jeffrey assistant Wesley Grove would call me and tell me that I needed to be at the house so often that I ended up dropping out of high school before 9th grade. And I never went back. From 14 to 17 years old, I went and worked for Jeffrey instead of receiving an education. Every day I hoped that he would offer me a real job as one of his assistants or something important. I would finally have made it big, as, like we say, the American dream. That day never came. I had no way out. Until he finally told me that I was too old. There are many pieces of my story that I can't remember, no matter how hard I try. The constant state of wonder causes me so much fear and so much confusion. My therapist says that my brain is just trying to protect itself. But it's so hard to begin to heal knowing...
What the fuck is Marjorie Taylor Greene there?
...my abuse than I do. The worst part is that...
Marjorie Taylor Greene, get your ass away from them women right the fuck now. What, are you there to make sure she doesn't mention Daddy Trump's name? Fuck you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That could help me remember and get over all of this maybe and help me heal. They have documents with my name on them that were confiscated from Jeffrey Epstein's house and could help me put the pieces of my own life back together. But I don't have any of it. And I know the same is true for many of these women. We are here to support this bill today, not only for transparency, but for the American people. But
Marjorie, I didn't think Marjorie Taylor Greene could get any fucking lower.
Describing the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and others, the least that they can do is give me my documents that they have about me. The other survivors deserve the same respect from our government. While identifying information must be redacted to the public, it is equally important to provide the victims themselves with unredacted information. I will never forget when the FBI agent showed up in my door in 2008. Jeffrey Epstein hired a lawyer to represent me, or more like to represent him, I like to say. I couldn't ask any questions, and I had no idea what was going on. I was terrified. Until today, I think most of us are still terrified. I thought somebody was going to kill me. I thought something was going to happen to my sister or my mother. It went further out to even maybe thinking something would happen in Brazil with my family. And then one day, the lawyer said that everything was just going to go away. Like nothing happened. I didn't need to testify. When I asked him why, he gave no explanation. That was it. So why? Why was I never called to testify then? We could have saved so many women. We could have saved so many lives from being abused. Why did he get away with it in 2008?
This is absolutely
with hundreds of girls after the Florida investigation. Why didn't they let me testify to help stop him? Our government could have saved so many women, but Jeffrey Epstein was too important, and those women didn't matter. Why? Well, we matter now. We are here today, and we are speaking, and we are not going to stop speaking. Today, I stand here with the women who have really helped.
Oh my God, the girl in the black blazer, that is Katie Johnson, Devin. I'm telling you right now, based on the body language, look.
Together
Look at the girl in the black blazer next to the dude with the red tie and watch what happens when the girl talks. That's quote-unquote Katie Johnson, I promise you.
To strengthen yours always. Thank you.
Look at the girl in the black blazer. That's quote-unquote Katie Johnson.
Hi, my name's Courtney Wild. I just wanted to take a second and just have a moment of silence for all the women survivors that aren't here with us today, that passed away due to anxiety, depression, trying to keep up with this case. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. My name is Courtney Wild. I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine. The details of the abuse that he inflicted on me for years is not important today. In 2028, I was cooperating with the federal government
In 2018, baby.
the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. They sent me a letter telling me to be patient because this was going to be a lengthy investigation, but at the same time, they refused to talk to me and tell me what was going on.
That might be.
So I hired an
That,
attorney.
that's the unquote quote. That's Katie Johnson. Look at the way her body language is.
When I walked into
She
the office
feels
19 years
every
old,
fucking
Brad
word
sued the
those
government
girls are
refused to
saying,
tell me
right?
what
That
was
is
going
the
on
fucking
under the
mis-
Crime Victims' Rights Act.
I'm putting money on the fact that that is the girl that named Epstein and started all of this.
Jeffrey Epstein immunity through the non-prosecution agreement was because our law.
She's held her identity in secret this whole time, going only by Katie Johnson.
Nobody would even know that today. Sometimes it's hard to believe that I had to sue the United States just to learn that my abuser was given immunity. I started as Jane Doe, but I decided I was proud enough to take on our country, and I was on the right side of history. We fought the government for 10 years to prove that the government violated our rights as crime victims and the crime victims' rights in order to protect a pedophile. We had to win the 11th Circuit Court Appeals to
And
force
all
the
I'm
government
gonna
to turn
tell
over
you
thousands of
guys,
pages of
honestly,
emails between Jeffrey Epstein and the government. Those emails provided.
I want to let everybody know, if you have not read the Epstein list of the file of Epstein
Epstein's victims are speaking right now. Don Lemon has turned off his TikTok gifts and is streaming the entire thing. Don, thank you. You are what. So one of the reasons I really want to go into political journalism is Don Lemon.
Why did nobody but our lawyers care before now? It seems people have only started to care.
I totally forgot what I was saying.
Sorry, I apologize. I was answering a question.
No, what you was is trying to finish the sentence.
No, she said, what's wrong? I said the Epstein victims are speaking out. We're watching it on Don Lemon's live. Wasn't trying to finish your sentence, baby. What you were trying to say is if you haven't read the Epstein files, I would look on fucking Reddit and find them or wherever.
No, not ready. Just go to Google. It's on the internet.
Understand how Jeffrey was able to abuse so many of us for so long. I was lucky to have Brad Edwards, Brittany Henderson, and Paul Cassell take on my case pro bono and fight fearlessly over.
They're chopping his
20
stream
years'
up.
time. I would like to thank them, and I'd also like to ask the Trump administration to please sign off on the Crime Victims' Rights Reform Act, the Courtney Wild Crime Victims' Rights Reformed Act. That's we're trying to get passed here, so we can close the loopholes in the CVRA case that Epstein's attorney.
They only need one more Republican to sign it for it to be law.
Get away with this.
Everybody in a Republican state, call your representatives and find out if they are signing the Courtney Wild Victims Rights Act and the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I'm literally watching his feed get chopped in front of my face.
No, there's just so much people.
Good morning. First and foremost, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to Brad and Brittany Edwards, Congressman Massey and Kana, and above all, the brave survivors who have entrusted us with the privilege of speaking today on behalf of Virginia. Robert Giuffre, as her family, We are here today because we support H.Res.581, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, in its entirety. But as much as this bill is about shining a light on truth, it's not just about the bill. This is about justice. This is about survivors. This is about justice against the rich and powerful who have stolen something from these women and many children at the time. Their freedom. The freedom to live their life without mental and physical scars that have been inflicted upon them by those who thought they were untouchable. The same freedom that these monsters took from these survivors, they should never be afforded. They should never be allowed to continue their lives with impunity.
Oh, baby, they're doing what they did to us at the protest. Watch. Take a look at it watch the video itself.
This is about humanity.
It'll start to glitch like when we were protesting.
Yeah, so many people trying to scream it.
Where the powerful can hide behind their wealth, their influence, and their money to evade justice. Our plea to you, whether you're a dad, a mom, a brother, or a sister, look your young ones in the face. Look them in the eye and tell them you didn't stand against the very people who raped, molested, and preyed upon children and young women. Tell them you were willing to negotiate a deal. Money should never be what makes something right or wrong. If you vote no, your stance will be clear. You will be choosing to stand on the side of the rich and powerful, allowing money to buy your way out of the consequence. But here's my one ask. Look these survivors in the eye and tell them why. Then, look the people of the United States in the eye and tell them why. And then, when you're alone, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why. Virginia said it best, and I quote, "I have physical and mental scars that will never heal. I have memories that will never go away. They say time can heal, but this won't. Not until the justice system makes an example out of these people with so-called privileges. I just call it money. The only time I can begin to heal is when their freedom is taken from them, just like they did to me, and literally thousands of others."
He's live on YouTube if his TikTok goes down. Okay.
This horrific abuse are watching.
I love Michaela. Michaela's got all this on lock for us. She's the one who told me Don was live with it. He's also live on YouTube if his TikTok goes down.
Hello, my name is Jenna-Lisa Jones, and I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Palm Beach in 2003. I had a terrible home life, but I was such an innocent kid then. I always did my best in school, and I had such a positive outlook on life. Until that day that I met Jeffrey, I have never been more scared in my life than I was that first time that he hurt me. I remember crying the entire way home, thinking about how I couldn't ever tell anyone about what actually happened in that house. This guy was so rich and had so many pictures with so many famous people, and no one would have ever believed me if I told them.
That in itself is fucking disgusting.
And Congressman Thomas Massey for having me here today. It was really hard for me to find my voice and to become strong enough to speak about my abuse. I didn't come forward until 2019, and even then it was like I was afraid of a ghost. I know that I was just a little kid, but sometimes I still feel like it is my fault.
Jessa, yes. Jessa said, oh my God, these women are my age. That's how old I was in 2003.
Not just to me and the women
Yeah.
before you, but to the entire country. Together, we can finally make a change. And that is thanks to the people like these two congressmen and their teams who actually care about us.
Good job,
If
Massey.
you're a member of Congress and you're listening to all
Good
of us
job,
speak here
Massey.
today, please
Can we
really
take a
listen to
moment
us.
to applaud Senator Massey, who we know isn't on the list? Senator Massey said, oh, you don't want to release him? That's fine. Congress will make you, bitch.
We are those people. We are the Americans that you promised to protect. And we need your help. Please, President Trump, pass this bill and help us.
He won't.
Make us
Nope, it's gonna take a
a
Republican switch. And the funny part is, I believe Massey is a Republican, isn't he?
I don't think it's ever going to go.
Senator Tom Massey.
That would be an automatic switch up in the budget.
Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, he's Kentucky.
Good afternoon. My name is Haley Robson. I was a 16-year-old high school student athlete who made good grades and had high aspirations for college when I was recruited and asked by a classmate of mine alongside with a 20-year-old male if I wanted to give an old rich guy a massage. But what high school girl would not want
Massey
to do that?
is a Republican
God
out of
changed my life
Kentucky.
forever. And when I got into the massage room,
Okay.
Still not going to be enough. He's going to be...
Hold on. That's not, I know that, but I want to take a moment. We found a good Republican.
He's going to be forced.
He's gonna. I want you guys to realize to protect Senator Massey with all costs, or Representative Massey with all costs.
It won't happen.
Because who co-sponsored the bill? That's what I want to know. Who sponsored the Epstein's File Transparency Act bill? He crossed the party line and got with California's Representative Kahan. And Merkley co-sponsored with Ben Ray LaHoon. Interesting. Okay. I know 5 senators that aren't on that list. And actually, the House bill has 25 Republicans already supporting it. So what I want to know is if you're willing to put your no vote on the record so we know you're on that list. I know that. He did, but to be fair, we can say he may have tried. He's an old white man, and to be honest, most of them don't understand they don't have a right to speak on women's fucking uteruses. So, fuck him on that note. But I'm going to be honest. The fact that he was willing to reach across the aisle to California's representative and say, hey, something about this stinks. And I don't like it. And if I don't like it as a Republican, this really fucking stinks. So let's do something about it.
They changed my life and they believed in me and have helped me to finally heal. Healing is a process, and I may never get there. But the passage of this bill requiring the government to produce all the evidence that it has gathered on Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell is a huge component of healing for me and for the many other women who have suffered for so long. For many reasons. First, we and the rest of the world need answers. Why was he so protected? And why didn't anyone ever care to stop him? It doesn't take a brain surgeon to know that if he is spending thousands of dollars a day paying high school girls he abuses and other acts
It's called
and how to want
Brotherhood
access to cash.
of You Fucking
I learned through my
United.
attorneys in the JP Morgan class action case that there were years when his staff withdrew over $1 million in cash a year.
Yeah.
Was that not a big enough red flag?
No.
There were wire transfers to other victims, and the government did not protect us. The banks did not protect us.
The government was against you all.
That's what she's saying. That's the point she's making. She's saying that we need one more Republican in the Senate to fucking jump on board, and we can do this. And if you're not willing to put your yes vote on this,
They won't.
but that's the thing. Listen, if you're voting no on this, it's because you are on the list. You're giving us the list without giving us the list. We're going to know who in Congress sat on that list and who didn't by the vote on this bill.
No.
Absolutely.
No, because you guys gotta think of this. The elites will fucking put you in check. They will threaten you. They will fucking do everything that they can to fucking...
Okay, well, if you're not on the list, you're complicit into the list if you vote no, and that means come midterms, you don't sit in our government anymore. That's what the fuck we need. No, it's up to us.
Yes, I understand.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you, hold on, shut up and let me finish your goddamn sentence before I come over there and flick you with a goddamn cigarette.
Girl, let me fucking finish a goddamn sentence. You're not going to get that in the fucking red states. The red states are going to still keep their fucking red fucking people in that fucking red states.
I disagree.
Nope.
I think that, okay,
Baby,
so...
you're talking about Tina fucking Sue's type of fucking people. Baby, they're gonna keep on going against
absolutely,
their
and that
own
goes, so
fucking
all of you in this room, all 25 of you in this fucking room, if your representatives vote no on this bill, you need to vote them the fuck out next year. You need to boot they ass out of government. And that's that fucking simple.
It's not gonna happen.
Y'all need to stand the fuck up. I know how many blue dots live in red states and feel like they don't make a difference. Midterms this year is gonna make a huge fucking difference. That's why they're trying to redistrict and run our fucking rights over before the new fucking election season. Listen. You vote them out. If they vote no on the Epstein Transparency Act, you vote they ass out. That's simple.
I wish you would have said that.
She just released the name of her fucking handler to Epstein was the Ford Modeling Agency.
Silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors?
Absolutely.
And also, I would like to
They're
announce here
all
today,
about to save themselves.
us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own
with a
list.
piece of meat.
We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the
all
names.
of you in red states, you email your Congress, you email your senators, you email your representatives, you call their offices, and you demand that they understand that a no vote. It is the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It is Congress forcing the release of the federal files on Jeffrey Epstein and his abusive friends. All of you in red states, you call and you demand that a no vote means that in this next midterm they don't have a job. That fucking simple.
Pain, the trauma, and betrayal at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and the people who enabled them, and a government that for far too long refused to help. In 2002, I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry. A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful
Bill Cassidy,
woman
tired of hearing
who
from you?
helped
Good.
me
Make
career.
sure he hear from you
That woman
again.
happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell.
Make them tired of hearing from us, guys.
Though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone
Colorado
enormously powerful,
senators and
someone who could change the course
representatives.
of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island. He listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with...
If I have any of my friends in Rifle, I want you to call Bobert and you tell her that her job is on the fucking line.
Many young women woman trapped in his
We, the
orbit. I was
people,
even taken
are
on a trip
tired
to
of
Africa
predators
with
preying on
former
our
President Bill
fucking
Clinton
children.
and other notable
And
figures.
other people's
In
fucking
those
children.
moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump.
Yes!
It was his biggest
She
brag,
named
actually.
him!
And what I endured will haunt me forever. I
Protect
live
this
every day
woman
with
at all
PTSD.
costs. He's gonna have her
I live
killed.
as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us. But one thing is certain. Unless we learn from this history, monsters like Epstein will rise again. There are files, government files, that hold the truth about Epstein, who he knew, who owed him, who protected him, and why he was allowed to operate for so long without consequence. Why was Maxwell the only one held accountable when so many others played a role? Why did
No,
the
they're
government
not.
hide this information from the public? This secrecy is not protection, it's complicity. And as long as the truth is buried, justice will remain out of reach. That is why this bill matters.
Arrest Clinton
Passing
and
it
Trump.
will bless you.
She named Bill Clinton as on that trip, and she named Trump. Take them both to jail.
Passing it will bring accountability, transparency.
I don't give a
and
fuck what
prevention.
side of the aisle you sit on. If you were abusing those girls, you need to go to fucking jail.
Wealth, influence, and connections. This is not just my story. It is about every survivor who carries invisible scars.
Doesn't mean that as a survivor we can't demand that justice till we're blue in the face, babe.
Broken and the future stolen. So I ask you, President Trump, and members of Congress, why do we continue to cover up sexual abuse and assault?
Because he thinks he's
What are we
untouchable.
covering for? Let the public know the truth.
He's not going to sign it, but Congress can override his veto with 3/4 majority. So yes, Congress still can force the list out and the files out.
Just give a round of applause for all the correct.
That's what they're doing. They said all of our current sitting Congress members sign this bill because if he won't, we need you. That is exactly what she just said.
A few questions. You can always get Congressman Massey, me, or Congresswoman Green in the hallways and other places if you have questions for us.
The
that's
fact
fine.
is
But I
that
wanted
if they
to
are on that
say
list, they need to be charged and convicted under U.S. law.
And Brad will
And any
facilitate any of the
fucking
questions
trips
for the
that took
survivors.
overseas, then we take them over there and we let them be charged and figure out whose prison's worse.
The president has said that this Epstein issue is a hoax, is the words that he used. Can we get your reactions to what you think when you hear him say that?
Does anybody know who bought fucking Epstein's island?
I'll answer that.
Did he?
President Donald J. Trump. I am a registered Republican, not that that matters because this is not political. However, I cordially invite you to the Capitol to meet me in person so you can understand this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma.
What does it feel like emotionally?
And Epstein's not dead, just FYI.
It's being gutted from the inside out. Not that I would know what that feels like, but I imagine it's the anxiety buildup with the depression and the survival mode, and then your nervous system goes limp and ironically is shot.
It's not political, goddammit. It point blank. If you're a Democrat, an independent, a Republican, a purple bucket people eater, if you were a part of abusing those girls, because that's what the fuck these girls were. They were 13, 14, 15, 16, and told at 17 they were too old. Well, yes, there was the 12-year-old. I forgot. But I'm talking about perceived, the women speaking now. Were the women in this fucking press conference were 12 and 13 to 14 when it all started. And then at 17, these girls were told they were too old to abuse anymore.
And I will meet him halfway.
The fuck?
About her transfer to a... Oh, yeah. I'm happy to speak to that.
we were horrified to learn that she had been transferred to a prison camp. She is someone who was found guilty by a jury of sex trafficking. She not only, we often hear that she procured women for Jeffrey, which I think is a very sort of polite and minimizing term. She also participated in abuse. She was a major architect of the scheme. And the fact that she's painted herself as a victim, I think is disgusting. And it was horrifying, I think, to us that we were not told about her prison transfer. We found out about it in the news. 1 minute, I think Anushka maybe.
So, Anushka DiGiorgio, I testified alongside Annie at the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. I was horrified when I found out not only had Ghislaine Maxwell been transferred to what's called a low security. It's really is like a holiday camp. And then afterwards, I got a notification from the Department of Justice telling me that this was going to happen when it had already happened.
Okay, that's also bullshit. That is Devin. As someone who was the victim of a violent crime and a witness in their trial, should they not receive notification long before? Especially when it's a minimum security, non-locked facility.
Yeah, 1 week prior of your fucking move, the victim advocate is supposed to call.
And let the victim know. You don't send a notification through email or text. That is fucking disgusting. Are you serious, U.S. government?
Yep, they did that shit on purpose. Because they knew that they would throw a fit.
I would throw a fit too. This bitch literally was the woman who went out and procured. They used the word procured children for this man.
And think of it this way, okay? You guys gotta think of it this way. The gentleman that plays in the 70s show that just got sentenced for rape
was on the Epstein files.
No, he motherfucking has gotten moved 3 times because so many inmates were gonna threaten him. Gotten moved 3 times.
Where?
And this girl is literally getting treated like a fucking queen. As she was the highest fucking child molester in the fucking country.
Anybody, hold on, I want to say something about, we just had a fighter jet flyover on top of these women's press conference. You can't tell me that's a motherfucking coincidence. That's intimidation using the federal government, Trump. Are you fucking kidding me? Just coincidentally, a squadron of fighter jets fly over top of where these women are holding a press conference? Okay. And purple fucking gnats fly out of my fucking ass when I smile. What the fuck?
We're reaching out to survivors that are scared. We're reaching out to survivors that are scared to come forward and that also know who they were trafficked to. So that's the list that we're compiling. We're not quite sure, how we're going to release that, or even if we're going to. The Department of Justice needs to release the list.
Right. For folks at home, they might be confused. Survivors know the names. You've seen these powerful people. Why can't you say the names? Could you just explain for folks?
Why do we have to say the names when the government knows the names?
Right, why is it on the victim to out their accuser when the government knows exactly who the fuck they are?
They got the evidence and they don't want to do shit with it.
And she did just say that the survivors are compiling their own lists with their attorneys. And if this act doesn't pass, they will find a legal way to release every one of those fucking names.
Because they could get sued, they're going to get attacked, and nobody protected them the first time.
Right, that part. That's like me going to get a job right now. Why would I do that? I know the consequences. I'm going to get attacked. I'm going to get stalked. I'm going to get harassed at work. Why would they be the ones to put the names out, knowing the federal government has those motherfucking names, and it's their responsibility to protect those women? Why would they do that to themselves?
But you gotta remember, baby, you gotta remember, FBI has lost the Epstein list.
Hold on. I think if
interested in prosecuting, they may have something different to say about sharing a list, but they're not sharing a list for nothing to happen, and that's the experience that they've had for all of these years.
Absolutely. Why? Exactly. Why would they re-victimize themselves for Trump's maggots to come after them again? That's insanity. Unless you're going to prosecute, why the fuck am I going to say shit to you? Dead serious. Why at this point would I open my fucking mouth and set myself up to catch fucking hell when I know you as the governing agency, you ain't gonna do shit about it even if I came with fucking DNA preserved in a fucking plastic bag for the last 22 years. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
They're not going to do anything because it's the most powerful of the most powerful.
But that's my point. All these people are screaming at these women to release the names. Why would they put themselves at risk like that? They'd be dead in a minute. All of them would have faulty brake lines or air embolisms in their fucking necks. Or suddenly be the victim of a mass shooting. And they would all fucking, they'd get their airplanes shot out of the sky. Dead serious.
Why today? Why now and why here? Well, it is not okay for us to be silenced. And it's not okay for Jeffrey Epstein and everybody else to be put on a pedestal. I think everybody needs to hear from us because we know what went on, right?
You mean Princess Di?
Who's been silenced. There are hundreds of women that are silenced. My hope is to stop this abuse for the future, right? For people that are coming up for women. My daughter, for example, these women have daughters. They most definitely don't want that anymore. And I think mainly this is therapy for all of us too. You know, we want to be heard. Nobody also has never asked me to speak. That's also another thing. So I can say for all of us here, we are here. We want this bill to pass. It is very important. Okay, and we need transparency. We are tired of looking at the news and seeing Jeffrey Epstein's name and saying that this is a hoax. We are tired of it. We are done. We're not going to be silenced, and I hope that my voice will bring other survivors and other victims to come along and speak up so that we can be more of a stronger voice and louder. Listen, I don't want to send a direct message to him. I'm already scared enough. Yeah. Just pass the vote. Listen to us. This is not a hoax. Like, it's not going to go away. And like I said on my speech earlier, we're not going to be silenced anymore. We will be speaking, moving forward. Wherever we need to be, we will be, and we need to pass this.
Go ahead.
Hell yes.
So there's not a list.
Yeah.
So here's what it was. Just like you heard everybody say, Jeffrey Epstein created through an organization that of enablers, of people that were on his payroll. It was a complicated scheme where others should still be investigated because they helped to enable him and operate this scheme. Without those people, he could not have done this.
Look how healthy my hair looks, guys.
To personally abuse people. With that being said, certain of his friends, he farmed out certain of the women that he was exploiting too. But that wasn't the primary purpose of that scheme, and I don't think he wrote the names of those people down. There's not a list of, hey, here's all of the people that I sent females to. That's just not how that organization worked. Agreed?
Is there any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was involved the way they're tied to the CIA or a foreign intelligence operation?
I think that the safest thing for me to say is all files should come out, whether it is for this with the CIA, FinCEN, SEC, FBI. I'm not just making these up haphazardly. I'm giving you a roadmap where to look.
Yo! He did not just say that. He said file a Freedom of Information Act. I'm not haphazardly saying these organizations. I'm giving you a map to start looking your damn self.
2009, and several times after that, he didn't think that it was a hoax hoax then. In fact, he helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation. Now, our investigation wasn't looking into him, but he was helping us then. He didn't treat this as a hoax. So at this point in time, I would hope that he would revert back to what he was saying to get elected, which is, I want transparency. This about-face that occurred, none of us understand it. I don't understand how this is an issue that's even up for debate.
That's exactly what they're doing, because if you don't sign this into law, we know you're on the fucking list.
And it was only because files are being kept in secrecy. The world should know who he is, who protected him, and the other people that are out there to be investigated need to be investigated.
Are there any people who are currently serving in government or being you knew of or in these files you had relations with? Anything of that sort? Jeffrey Epstein connected you with? Are you willing to say yes or no?
I don't think I can answer that. I'm sorry. I think she's referring to my throat.
Hi, Anushka DeGiorgio. I have been threatened. I was threatened by phone. My daughter was threatened when I was volunteering to participate in, by means of being a witness in a civil lawsuit that Virginia Giuffre was bringing against Ghislaine Maxwell. I have been followed. I have been stalked. I have been followed not only by journalists, but by people who do not get out of the car and do not try and talk to me and just drive behind me as I drive my daughter to school. So the fear is very real for us. I have also been in multiple situations with both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell where they have been direct and indirect about implying and saying that if I was to talk, if I was to bring any kind of trouble, then there would be severe consequence, including death.
Just to add to that, Maxwell also threatened my sister Maria Farmer. When the FBI did nothing about her initial report, we did. She reported individually at that time, and then in 2002, we spoke to a reporter at Vanity Fair, telling our stories, fearful that perhaps other people were being harmed. We were not. We believed that was going to make a difference. We believed that would be put in print, and that story was crushed. And it was because of their power, and the message that we got from that was direct threats from Maxwell to my sister.
Miranda D. Herrera says Maxwell's at a minimum security work camp in my town. They give her a work detail. She's not making it back to the prison.
I just want to say one thing that's very clear when people say, please share names. There are names that are very well known, like that of Les Wexner, who everyone knows supplied an enormous amount of Epstein's, financial wealth and
welcome back.
To happen. So it's, I think, confusing to many of us why there have not been more ramifications for him, and he's been seen as a victim when clearly, I believe there's more to it.
There's more to it because Epstein's not dead.
Right.
She eventually had to recant the allegations that she made against Alan Dershowitz. She alleged that under Palestine.
All right, next question. Next question. Thank you.
Why is it that she should be?
Yeah, no, we're not answering your question. Anybody else?
How did the victims feel about the interview that was given to Ghislaine Maxwell by Tom Bland?
That's better. Okay, ma'am, I think that you had a question.
Leave him alone then. Come here, my baby. Come here, gorgeous. Not you. Come here, mommy's boy.
I don't know that
Little
we're able to
grumpy
reveal
dog.
what we've seen and what we have not seen by way of protective order, but my point being in that circumstance was, if anybody
Which
wants
part of the
answers,
news?
There's an easy place to get it. I told you where to get
I'm
it.
watching
the state of Jeffrey Epstein hasn't served a subpoena on them.
the Epstein File Transparency Act on Don Lemon's TikTok.
Usually miss subpoenas like that, so there we go.
I have not seen anything else right now. I've been watching this.
To your question about the allegations, there's a simple answer. Release the files. Let the American public decide. Instead of harassing, instead of, I gave you your say. Look. You're hired by Dershowitz. You know, You've been heard. And even Alan Dershowitz says, release the files. Release the files. That is the answer, and that's what we're here for.
Release the fucking files. Stop asking the victims to release shit and make themselves targets. Let the government and the justice system do its fucking job. Release the fucking files. Investigate, charge, and fucking deal with who needs to be dealt with. Release the motherfucking files. It's that simple.
And for any of the victims, did they ever see the president with them? Not the president, yeah, but they ever see Trump with Epstein in any way?
I don't know who's. I don't think that we can answer that question. Did anybody see Trump with Epstein back then? This is really not a political thing. We want the passage of the bill, and this is not to call out President Trump. My point was that he was friendly back then, did not think that it was a hoax, and was trying to help. Right. And now it seems like all of a sudden somebody's in his ear and he's not. So I'm hoping he'll come back to where he was back in 2009, be on the side of the victims and stand with us. Go ahead.
Teresa J. Helm. Happy to speak on that because what I will say is she got this airtime and platform. Her voice was elevated way before our voices.
It's
were
that simple. Let
today.
the courts and the justice system take their fucking...
calm, manipulative voice that she had, so polite there that day with Todd Blanche, was the same polite, coercive, manipulative voice that I heard as she was grooming me to then send me off to the home of Jeffrey Epstein where he would assault me. So that's what she was doing for hours, speaking with me, building relationship with me, building trust with me, allowing me to believe that I was going to get this job, a dream job that I had been recruited from my college, flown across the country from Los Angeles to New York City to interview, so I thought. So her voice that day was the same voice that sent me off to a monster. So nothing can be believed from what she says because she's been charged with perjury. I myself could sit there and listen, and as I did, I sat there and listened to this woman's voice lie. And there was no pushback from Todd Blanche because does he even have the facts to be able to push back on her?
No.
We could sit there and push back. Why didn't we get to attend that? Why weren't we there that day? Or why wasn't even one of us consulted prior to that day and that meeting? And why on earth has she been moved from Florida to her? It basically is prison saw. I mean, let's be real. None of us were consulted. I found out, just like everyone here found out, through the media, through all of you. We found out about Gielin's transfer. So I'm very angry to sit there and listen. The feelings that come up listening to this woman's voice is repulsive. Yes, I would say it's triggering. We all work very hard on healing, and it still gets to us after 2 decades. It's a very long answer. It's repulsive to sit there and listen to her voice and interview.
Can we take two more questions? One
From JP Morgan to the Virgin Islands. Will you go after the DOJ, the FBI, because they're sitting on evidence? I'm showing evidence in my hands.
That's ridiculous. And moving this bitch to a minimum security work farm.
There's a legitimate action to take. So,
okay.
To the extent that evidence exists,
I want to know
show it to us and
why you move this bitch. Fuck all this.
With the victims.
I just want to know why you moved this bitch to a minimum security work farm.
Okay, so.
First off, bitch, you were convicted of sex trafficking.
Doesn't matter.
Child sexual assault.
That doesn't matter.
It should, though. Your classification when you go into prison should have been maximum security. You're the biggest flight risk there is.
There is and there isn't. So in certain states.
She's feds.
Okay, there's certain states and feds that as long as if you do a certain amount of time at a higher security fucking yard and you apply for a program at a lower security program and your abilities to go.
Okay, I get that in the prison system, but explain this to me. Shortly after the Epstein cases were thrown out by the federal courts and women started speaking up, suddenly now she's moved? The timing doesn't seem off to you? She was moved 2 days after the dismissal of the Epstein cases.
Yeah, because they're gonna rave out some release her. Duh.
That's bullshit.
You can't trial somebody and hold somebody on the exact same fucking charge and be in fucking.
She wasn't. She was charged with trafficking based on her behavior.
I understand that, which is a.
I'm telling you this: if they let Maxwell out, she ain't gonna live through the fucking night.
Maybe
it's that simple.
Maybe.
Fuck that bitch.
Jeff Epstein got released within 60 seconds. They raced. He has gone out of this fucking country into fucking some secure ass fucking little thing. They're right about to release her so that she can fly and be safe wherever Epstein is.
Somebody better put a goddamn GPS tracker on that house so we can find them both and snipe the shit out of them. On God. On fucking God. Oh, I just got reported. Of fucking course I did. Guys, I'm gonna jump off and eat some breakfast. I'll see y'all in a little bit.